Welcome back to Second Breakfast and our ongoing film discussions, bringing you the best thoughts, theories, and literary analysis this side of our comfort zone.
In this episode, we're talking about Predator Badlands and how deceptively difficult it is to make a good popcorn movie. Let's get into it.
All right, so we were having a terrible day. It was one of those days, it was a Saturday, and Saturdays should be good. It's more important for a Saturday to be quality.
Of course.
And this one wasn't. So last minute, we never do this. We see like 5 movies a week, but we never book them last minute. It's
rare.
Incredibly meticulously planned, and we've got the whole month laid out. I've got a chart that I'm making on my desk.
Well, and usually the second a movie ticket goes up, you're buying it because you want the best seats. You know.
Yes. I know every layout of every theater in the city we live. Yeah, I know all of it. So we did something we never do. We just grabbed tickets last minute. Old school. Remember when we were kids, before you could reserve seats?
Right, you just go up to the theater and say, hey, what's showing?
Even more archaic. I'm old enough that I remember when we would have to look in the newspaper. Like we're watching the fucking smoke signals for the new Pope being announced. We had to look in the newspaper for, hey, new movie, and you know nothing about it.
No.
Has these 3 showings at your local, so you just go and hope.
Yeah, crazy.
And if you're there, because I remember, I think it was Star Wars Episode 3, because my family was always very good about getting there early.
Yeah.
And something happened, and we got there late, and I remember I watched that movie in like the first or second row.
Oh, that's brutal.
And the only time I've ever done that is that and Cheaper by the Dozen 2. I was like a front row for that. So I was looking up Steve Martin's nostrils for the whole film.
What specific memories you have?
Well, Hilary Duff was in one of those. And
that's how you...
That's a core memory.
Okay, right. But so for this, we were not in the first row.
No, we weren't. But we did the thing where you just book tickets last minute. So they weren't great seats. They were just kind of on the margins, whatever was left. It was like a 9-10 showing at whatever our most local Alamo Drafthouse was. And more importantly, we know nothing about this franchise. Somehow I've seen like every Alien movie. I've always seen them the second they come out, and I've just never crossed over with Predator.
Yeah, I didn't know anything going in, especially because I do the thing where this is a classic me. I mix up the Predator and the Punisher because they both start with P and end in R. And so I just kind of thought they were the same thing for like 20 years. I know they're not now, but anyway, I knew nothing.
And I'd heard such good things about this movie that I was bullying you to go for like a week or 2.
And I was like, yeah, but he's got an alien mouth, and I don't know if I can deal with it.
For context, it took me, I think, 3 years of trying to get Maggie to watch Peaky Blinders, and she thought the title was stupid, so she wouldn't watch it.
I still stand by that. It's a shitty title. Great show, terrible title.
Great show is the takeaway there.
Yeah.
So I was asking you the question when we were going to the movie, when we were driving, and I said, what do you want out of this movie? We ask each other that more and more now, and I believe you just said fun.
Yeah, I said I just want to be entertained and have fun. Yeah.
And is that what you got?
That's exactly what I got. This movie was so much fun.
And it's deceptively difficult. It's deceptively simple because the movie is fun. Like if you were to boil it down to one word and 3 letters, that is what we got from the movie. That's almost all we got from the movie. But that's a really difficult task. And I think this kind of movie, which we've talked about before as kind of popcorn movies, I think those are the most taken for granted.
I agree.
The most overlooked. This film's not going to be nominated for Oscars.
No.
But for making something that is so joyful and entertaining and rapturously fun, I really think that's something to be commended and celebrated and analyzed.
I agree, because I think now, like, movies are so weird now because people go to so fewer movies in the theater. Like, they're just not going to the theater as much as they used to. And so there's a lot of pressure on filmmakers to make something really worth your while going to the theater. And so things are like, there's a lot of pressure to do like, Oscar-y movies that are very serious and very like, have great elements of craft and that sort of thing. Or they're just like giant bombastic, Mission Impossible kind of thing. Or like, the next Marvel movie, like something that's like a really big established IP. And of course, Predator is a big established IP, but I wouldn't put this in the same category as like the next Avengers movie. But so I think a lot of movies feel like they have to be really, really excellent or really, really subversive or really, really like, yeah. And I think there are fewer and fewer movies now that are just a really fun time because most people aren't going to be spending their limited movie ticket dollars on a fun time. They're going to go to something that's really, really big or that's really,
essential.
Really important. I have to go see The Whale or whatever. But I really...
Good shout out. The Whale.
I love The Whale. But I really admired this movie for what it was. It wasn't my favorite movie of all time, and I'm probably not going to watch it again, but I really enjoyed my experience seeing it, and that's a great thing.
It reminded me of, we've done so many episodes about games now, and I think sometimes when you talk about games, you can get lost in the aesthetic or the number of developers or how impressive it is that 3 people made Hollow Knight or whatever the kind of background story of the game is. And we've done so many episodes about Diablo 4 over the last couple of years. And one of the big anchor points I always make sure to put in the notes for those discussions is fun factor. Because I don't want to overlook that. And I think it's incredibly easy to overlook that. And this movie reminded me of the way we talk about games. Because this was all about fun factor. This was all about rule of cool. I mean, just as a few examples here, we functionally have lightsabers, but they're even cooler because they're also sharp, pointy, curvy swords, but they've got like red lighting on them, like the piping on the Glee jackets. You've got cool weapons throughout the movie. You've got cool robots, freaky monsters. The violence and the action is incredible. And underneath all of that is a story that really is quite smart. Like the movie felt relentlessly creative to me.
It did. It did.
At once, I feel that the people making this are very much fans of the franchise. But it feels like what you want when a franchise goes long enough that fans can start making the movies. You want them to be kind of pushing the boundaries. And I don't mean like reinventing the wheel. I mean, they're kind of testing hypotheticals within this world. They're creating, they're exploring. This movie felt relentlessly creative because every scene felt like a what-if scenario. It felt like all these puzzle boxes experimenting within an established world.
Yeah, that's interesting. What kind of experiments are you thinking of?
Well, I think that's part of it, is because you and I haven't seen any of the preceding movies.
Right.
So we can't speak to the exact boundaries that are being played with here.
Right.
But I remember seeing the way this movie was pitched is, it's the first Predator movie from the Predator's perspective. Because I know the Predator's usually the big bad hunting
villain
through a jungle. So exploring the other side of that, of how do these beings get so angry? What is their home life like? But also, there's been so much crossover. And again, I haven't seen any of the Alien versus Predator movies, but I know that they exist. So I know that there's some of that DNA and cross-pollination happening in the franchises. And this movie, it surprised me because it almost felt like it was as much an Alien movie as it was a Predator movie. You've got 2 leads. One of them's from Alien. One of them's from Predator.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was playing out all of those ideas. What would happen if one of the robots landed in a Predator world? And then these little almost maybe franchise agnostic experiments of what happens if the grass is made of razor blades. Every creature, every monster, because this was just a series of threats up against, guy wants to go kill this big thing to prove himself to his dumb father. And all of the impediments and disasters in the way of that happening were all interesting, weird, fucked up. Those spiny, pokey little monsters where if
that
you
like
get
exploded
near them,
and the quills.
Yeah. Every little creature, everything in the way on this dangerous planet was interesting.
Yes, the whole planet was cool. It felt, experimental is a good word for it. Exactly, yeah. I mean, it felt like some of the things that I love best about sci-fi and fantasy are just really inventive, imaginative worlds. And even like the green blood of the Predator and all of his same beings, like that's the reason. I mean, this movie is PG-13, which is like means you get a wider audience, and like usually that's sort of a clue for a good popcorn movie because it's like got wider mass appeal. But it was still very violent, but they could get away with it because the blood is all like glowy green. But even that glowy green element was really interesting, and it gave these creatures like a different sort of liveliness, but also otherworldliness, and you kind of fear them. But the movie does a really great job of, I mean, it's so psychological. You get to know your main character, Deck, so well, and you care about him so much. But he's not you don't feel bad for him necessarily because he's incredibly violent and overpowered, but compared to his really shitty father, like you feel for him and you connect with him as a character. Like, even though he's not speaking English ever, he's always speaking in whatever his language is, and so you get subtitles. But like, it was just so playful and fun, and all these like strange, and the way his hair looks like cord or like cable, and just like all the creativity present in the execution of this imagined world was really cool.
It was cool because it was kind of a relay race of interesting creatures where they all looked really cool and they were kind of puzzles in their own right. I feel like this is kind of what Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them could have been. That franchise should have felt this creative and experimental, where it's kind of bursting at the seams with new ideas and images and powers.
And at moments, the Fantastic Beasts is like that, but it's so bogged down by so much of the other shit going on and all the desperate desire to connect to Voldemort and Dumbledore. It's like, can we just chill?
Right. And I'm in a weird position here because I haven't seen the other movies, but I didn't feel at every turn that this movie was being bogged down in old lore.
No, I mean, there were definitely, like, again, the lore that we're familiar with is Alien. And so there are definite, Maggie, there are definitely direct references to Alien, you know, like talking to the motherboard and the fact that, what do you call the robots in Alien? What are they called?
Oh, I don't know.
Like avatars or something?
I don't know.
No, who fucking cares? I don't know. The robots, right? Like that, like they're obviously like the same kind of thing. So there are direct references to Alien, but it wasn't like, see, do you get it? It was more just, it felt like an Easter egg. Like, because if I went into that movie having never seen Predator or Alien movies, I still would have understood what was happening and had a good time. Yeah, like I don't need to understand the lore of Alien to get it. It was just like a rewarding Easter egg sort of thing. So I liked that.
And I wanted to spend a second talking about the ending, because this reminded me of a work of art we talked about in a breakfast buffet episode over on our Patreon. I don't know, 2 years ago at this point. And it's funny because I don't think we've talked about this, and I want to see if you got the reference too. But this ending reminded me so much of Gladiator 2.
What happens at the end of Gladiator 2?
If
everybody
that
dies?
ending had been executed effectively. So the ending of that movie is you're setting up this big conflict where Paul Mescal is becoming Russell Crowe and doing the gladiator fights, but over top of that, you have this big, almost political conflict with Denzel Washington.
Yes.
And we knew from the press tour that they were setting up a Gladiator 3, and they got Denzel Washington, so you figured they were setting that up to be the big rivalry for the third movie.
Yes.
And then, in the last, 8 minutes of the movie, they just jump forward and, I guess spoilers, they do that final duel.
Right, they have their own little duel and Denzel Washington dies.
And they kill off Denzel Washington.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, so now what?
I feel like Predator Badlands did that same ending, but so effectively.
With the dad.
I wasn't sure when I saw Gladiator, because I hated that ending so much. I wasn't sure if the ending just didn't work at all, or if it didn't work the way they executed it. And I think the ending can work. Because the whole film here, you're setting up the dad as the big bad. He's hanging over the movie after making such a strong impression in that prologue. And the fact that they just said fuck it and jumped to the final duel in the last couple minutes, because I really thought it was going to end before that. I thought that was going to be their drink more Ovaltine to come back for the next movie.
Sure, me too.
And I think it works because of the way they structured the movie. There's a symmetry here. Because at the beginning you have the prologue with the brother and the dad, and at the end you have him and his newfound family, and then you go back to the dad again. And the family kind of works together to defeat the dad.
Yes.
Did you find it satisfying? Did it feel
very
rushed?
satisfying? No, it felt perfect. It felt like a clean, contained arc. I mean, that's the other thing too, is I know they'll make more Predator movies, but I don't know enough to even know if this specific character deck has been present in other Predator movies.
I don't think so.
So then it feels like this is self-contained. This is like its own story. There will be other movies in this world, but this character's arc is fully completed within this one movie versus Gladiator 2, where we're going to see Paul Mescal again, unfortunately. I love Paul Mescal. He's
too.
Terribly miscast in that movie. I don't know what was going on over there. That's not the role for him. Anyway, sad Irish boy can't play Gladiator. It's fine. But so, no, I thought it was perfectly satisfying. You're right. There is a nice, pleasing symmetry between the beginning and the end. I thought it was perfect. I didn't know what to expect. I wasn't sure if we were going to see the dad again. But when it happened, I was like, oh, this is perfect. I was really happy about it.
And yeah, as a newcomer, this felt like a complete story that I could fully enjoy without any cliff notes. But it felt so charming to me that after that, there was just another tease for the next conflict and the introduction of the mother.
Yes.
That felt like a creator who's just extremely excited to be playing in this sandbox.
Absolutely.
And was so excited to tell the story and is so excited that they can't even wait to start telling you about the next one.
Yeah.
I found that incredibly charming as a viewer. I wanted to close here by just some 2025 comparisons, because I thought this film evoked some of my favorite works of art and purely popcorn entertaining stories of this year, and we don't get to talk about that stuff that often. The first one was Deathstalker.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, we loved Deathstalker.
Genuinely, they're kind of the same movie. If Elle Fanning is the little goblin guy.
Right. Yes.
It's a journey through an incredibly creative, colorful world with a kind of sardonic and grumpy super killer lead.
Masculine man, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then you have this kind of goofy comic relief, very short sidekick.
Yeah. Exactly.
We championed Deathstalker when it came out. I mean, that was a very limited release, and I'm so glad we got to talk about that and kind of share the good word for Deathstalker. The other one is Battle Beast.
Oh, okay.
So this is the new comic from the world of Invincible. So it's the same creative team as the majority of Invincible. It's Robert Kirkman and Ryan Ottley. Some of the most incredible art that you'll see in a comic this year. And the first arc came out, the first 6 issues came out over the course of this year. And I loved it so much. And I was thinking about it the entire way through this movie.
That's
because
funny.
Battle Beast is this very funny villain from Invincible. He's got like the head of a tiger, and he just roams the galaxy trying to find a fight that'll kill him. He's trying to find someone strong enough to kill him in combat, and he just eviscerates everything he finds. There's more blood in this comic than I've ever seen in a comic book.
Cool. Is it green?
No,
blood.
No, it is. Well, occasionally if the monster has green blood, but
sure.
usually it's very red.
Okay.
And as his companion, he has this alien prince that he cut in half. So it's just, he has the top half of him that he's kind of dragging around, and eventually he puts the top half in a little mechanical robot suit. And
cool.
And it's all that banter of the goofy one and the grumpy killer. And I loved how well this kind of burgeoning archetype was executed across more than one medium this year. Because I don't know, I think pure entertainment, especially in a year like this, is something to be celebrated.
Definitely. I mean, this movie, and it has sort of everything you want out of a popcorn movie. It has obviously amazing action, like we talked about. It's got great characters. It's got moments of genuine emotion that are moving and, you're invested in, but aren't so devastating that it's like a huge tragic bummer the way that other dramas might be. That's not a bad thing, but that's not what you want out of a fun movie. But it wasn't so light that you didn't care. Like, they balanced that really well, and it had really great moments of humor, all the sequences with Elle Fanning's character and trying to get her legs back, that's all really funny and interesting.
She was fantastic.
She was so good. I really liked her. And she had a kind of just a really weird attitude.
Yes,
she was very funny and dry, but not just comic relief, and she had emotion to her, but she's a robot, so not too much emotion, and she balanced Deck's character really well. I really liked her.
And she was doing 2 roles.
Yeah.
And they both looked cool and interesting, but I think it's really worth digging into this, because that role of being kind of the only speaking character and being funny, it's incredibly difficult to do that and not being annoying as shit.
Right.
And she was never annoying. I mean, look at that fucking Borderlands movie.
Ugh.
How many times do you have goofy, sardonic character, and it's like nails on a chalkboard. It's grating. Exactly. And she was so interesting and fun and bubbly, and it's such a great counterbalance to the extreme violence of the rest of the film.
And then, not to mention, the other great part of this is you've got a little guy. I mean, I guess a little girl. She's a female, but the little character Bud, the little creature. That's what I mean. She's so cute and so goofy and funny, and there's kind of that emotional, parental desire to protect the thing there that you kind of get out of Deck. Is perfect. It's
I'm
perfect.
glad you mentioned how heartfelt this was under the surface, because that reminded me of another comic, Daniel Warren Johnson's Beta Ray Bill from a few years ago. He's probably the premier creator in the comic space right now, and he did this miniseries that spun out of the Thor run of Donny Cates that was happening at the time, and it was a 5-issue miniseries about this character I knew nothing about called Beta Ray Bill, and he's this alien with a horse head. He's from older Thor comics.
Sure.
And it was so beautiful. The art was, it's still the thing that has most blown open my world since we've gotten into comics, but it was so incredibly affecting and heartfelt under the surface. And I thought this movie evoked that for me, which is incredibly high praise.
Yeah, that's
I
amazing.
had such a good time with this movie. And for being, we had a shitty day and we booked tickets randomly on a whim. The magic of movies is that we were smiling through the entire run of this movie. And after 2 hours, the phrase deck of the Yautja means something to me.
It really does.
Those were just sounds before I saw this movie.
Those are random letters. Yeah.
And now they're things I care about.
Yeah, it was great. So we'll probably be seeing the next Predator movie, which is very exciting.
I kind of want to go watch the old ones now.
Yeah, maybe.
Also, it's the director of 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah,
which is unbelievable.
This movie was really well directed. So yeah, it was beautiful. Cool. Yeah, well, if you haven't checked it out, I don't know when this episode is coming out, but if it's still in theaters, if you can still catch it, I recommend you go see it. If not, watch it at home. It's a really, really fun time.
This is a movie for friends. You get some popcorn, you get some pizza, and you just
have a good time. Dudes rocking.
Dudes is gender neutral.
It's true. Yeah, all the dudes are rocking in this movie. Cool. Well, thank you all very much for listening. Cam mentioned our Patreon episodes earlier. Do check out our Patreon. It's $2 a month. It's a great place to be. Also, click the like button and subscribe, etc., etc. Also, check out Cam's latest book, Lemon Tarts in Space. If you like sci-fi, violence, friendship, heart, you'll love this book. It's available as a book or as an audio drama. Go check it out.
Light science fiction, dark comedy, a lot of violence.
It's perfect. It's perfect. Thank you all very much for listening. We'll catch you here next week with a brand new episode.